Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm filming my July TBR. I feel like I say this every month, but how is it July already? Like what? Anyway, let's just get started. I think I have 7 books here today. So the first book I have is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. So I'm actually going on holiday in July. Me and my mum are going to Spain for a few days, which I'm very grateful for. Usually I do read mostly fantasy. For me, there is nothing better than when you're like on holiday abroad in like a hot country reading a nice cute summer romance rom-com, like just sitting by the beach or the pool reading a cute little romance book. There's just no better vibes than that. So I literally purchased this book, well, first of all for the gorgeous cover, but also purely so I could read it on holiday. I literally know nothing about this book except I think our main character's like sister has just died or something, and she's at her annual family vacation to Martha's Vineyard and Vineyard. Sometimes saying words in my British accent, it just sounds weird compared to like how I'm used to hearing them in an American accent. And I think they play a game of Assassin. I have no idea what Assassin is. I don't think it's something that's like played here in the UK. I'm assuming it's some sort of like American game or something. At least if it is played here in the UK, it's not played where I'm from. But I'm assuming it's just some like game, like tag or something, I don't know. And I think she like teams up with a cute groomsman, and then I'm assuming some little romance ensues. I'm just expecting this to be like a cute little summery romance, but hopefully it'll also touch on some like more serious topics like grief and stuff, because that's what I like in my romances. The next book I would like to read in July is Glint by Raven Kennedy. So this is the second book in the Guild little series. I read Guild this month in June. If you want my thoughts on that, it'll be in my wrap up. And I enjoyed it. Like, was it anything great? No, but it was fun. And I really want to continue on with the series. I think this is the second one. So this series you follow Orin, and she is basically like, she's one of the king's saddles. She's basically a prostitute. She's like the king's like favorite saddle, and the king has turned her to like solid gold. Like, she is golden. And basically she has like Stockholm syndrome. She thinks he's like in love with her and protecting her because he like keeps her in a cage and stuff. When you're reading it, you can very obviously tell he does not actually love her. And the first book was basically about her kind of escaping and getting out of that. And then this is obviously the second book, but I want to continue on with the series, get a bit further through. Like, I just think these are like fun, quick, not so serious reads. Although, however, please touch up trigger warnings. They are very dark and they're also like very spicy. So do bear that in mind if you are going to go into this series. But I'm very excited to continue on, and I've heard it gets better as you go like further on in the series. So hopefully it does. I then want to read 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. So I have read Elizabeth Lim's Spin the Dawn duology, and it really was not my favourite series I've ever read. I mean, in my mid-year freakout tag, I literally put it in my biggest disappointment of the year category. But I want to give her another chance because her covers are gorgeous. Like, she never misses with her covers, and I just want to like own them. And I want to love them as well. This is a duology, I believe, but I'm pretty sure it's set in the same universe as the Spin the Dawn duology. Is just set like a few hundred years earlier. And I also know, I think she's releasing a prequel series to this, so it's like a prequel to the prequel, except this is not really a prequel series to Spin the Dawn, it's just mentioned. That sounds really confusing. All I know about this is you have a princess and she can do like forbidden magic, and her stepmother, I think, finds out she can do this forbidden magic, and she ends up exiling her and turning her 6 brothers, I think, into cranes. Well, yeah, it's kind of like in the title. I think she's also like not allowed to speak, and if she speaks, one of her brothers dies. And then I'm assuming she's just gonna be like trying to find her way out of that whole thing. I've heard very mixed things about this series, which makes me even more scared, especially because my past experience with this author was not the greatest. I've heard some people love this, some people hate this, so I really don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. I've also heard not the best things about the second book in this series, so I'm a bit skeptical going into this. The next book I want to read is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. I know absolutely nothing about this series. I got it at a secondhand bookstore and I was like, I've heard a couple people say good things about this, so I'll pick it up. All I know is I think it's about like mermaids or like sirens or something of the sort. This book has a bookmark in. That's cool. That's why I love like buying secondhand books, because you always find the most weird stuff in them. Like a bookmark, or there'll be like a random like annotation or something, and it's always so fun to like find. I know nothing about this, but I'm kind of trying to read, because it's obviously like we're in summer now, I want to read summery books, but since I read mostly fantasy, I feel like a lot of fantasy books are not really like summer vibes. But since this is like about mermaids, I feel like mermaids, you know, like in the ocean, summer. It's also kind of giving To Kill a Kingdom, is that what it's called, by Alexandra Christo. It's kind of giving like those vibes from the blurb, but that could just be because it's about like mermaids and sirens and stuff. And it's like, I think forbidden love with like a human type vibe. I don't know, but I'm excited, and the cover is also really pretty. Next, I want to read You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thao. All I've heard is that this is like the saddest book. I think it's about this girl whose boyfriend has recently died, and then she wants to hear his voice, so she calls his phone to like hear his voicemail. However, he ends up actually like picking up the phone. I've just heard this is so sad and I want to cry. I want to have my heart broken by this. I'm ready for the like emotional pain. Most people are living like hot girl summer. I'm living my sad girl summer once I read this book. I just think it'll be a short read that I could read in like one sitting, hopefully. And I just think it'll be, I don't want to say a fun time, but I think it'll be a heartbreaking time. And I'm ready to have my heart ripped out by this book. Next, again, like I said before, sticking with like the whole sea, ocean theme, I want to read The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. All I know about this is it follows this like renowned female pirate, and she's kind of had to like fight her whole life to like prove herself as a pirate, because women, they're not really treated with like respect in the pirating world. And she's like this like well-renowned pirate. She's done all these like crazy things. She's like really like just well-known and famous. However, she's retired. I think she has a daughter now, or a child or something, who she's now kind of just settled down to look after her or him. I can't remember the gender of the child. However, I think someone like blackmails her or threatens her family, and she has to go on one last adventure to like do something or retrieve something. And that's like what this book in this series is about. I am just hoping this gives like Pirates of the Caribbean vibes, because I am the biggest Pirates of the Caribbean fan. So I'm just hoping that it's just gonna deliver all the pirate vibes. And I just think, you know, it's just gonna be a very fun, adventurous time, and I am ready for it. The last book on my TBR for the month is probably one of the ugliest covers in my collection, but it's The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan and Maureen Johnson. First of all, this cover, atrocious, awful, disgusting. I felt ashamed when I picked this up in the bookstore to purchase. Like, anyway, I've been making my way through the Shadowhunters books, as I'm sure you know if you watched any of my videos recently, and I don't want to like start another one of like this full-on series in this world, but I kind of missed it and I wanted to read like a little short story collection, and this is the only one out of the 3 I think that are out that I own, so I was like, we'll read this month. Basically, set in the Shadowhunters world. I'm not gonna explain what the Shadowhunters world is. I feel like everyone knows at this point. And it's just a series of short stories following Magnus Bane throughout his life. And I think there is like cameos from some of our favourite characters. At this time, I've only read The Infernal Devices and The Mortal Instruments, and I think you don't have to read any of the other 2 series because I haven't. I'm pretty sure it was released before they were, so I think it should be fine. I just think it'll be a fun time. There's also like little comic strips, graphic novel kind of things in it, which are cool. And I just think it'll be like a fun thing to read a couple stories every like day or something. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you had a good time and have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.